Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brad, and I want to talk a little bit about the warrior mentality in business. If you want to be successful in business, relationships, or life in general, you have to have a very resilient mindset. Because the fact of the matter is that anybody who's successful in business, relationships, in any aspect of life has faced many challenges, many disappointments, many letdowns. Certain opportunities that you thought were definitely going to work out and you were looking forward to it, and then it just doesn't fucking work out. But you got to keep going. I mean, that's really that's honestly that disappointment that crushes people, because there's two ways that you could react to disappointment. One is you could give up and quit, and many people do that, or you can just not get rattled, recenter yourself, and figure out what the next step to do is, make a decision on what the next move is, and then act upon it. That's really the bottom line. Anytime that you encounter a setback, you encounter a struggle, something doesn't go your way, you simply make a decision and you act upon it. You maybe, what I like to do in the morning, a new discipline that I've begun developing for me to keep myself straight, and it works phenomenally, I highly encourage it, is first thing in the morning. The thing that I used to do would be first go work out. Now what I do is I do morning pages. So I'll read pages from a great book. This morning it was The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. I'll reread Goals by Brian Tracy, rewrite out my goals or something like that, make a decision of what it is that I'm going to do for that day if I've had a setback. Because dude, I had a setback yesterday. Everybody has setbacks. I have this event coming up tomorrow. Literally, I filled out the room in about 2 weeks. The room is completely packed. I've got amazing people coming. It's going to be phenomenal. It's a very interesting experience. But every single business person has challenges. Every single relationship or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you're going to have setbacks, you're going to have challenges, you're going to get beat sometimes. It's just inevitable. Warriors get beat. We don't always win every single battle. There's no person who's won every single battle. But what's important is that you win the war. And the way that you win the war is you go off, you gather as much intelligence as you can up front, and then you make a decision and you act. You act quickly. And you keep pushing. You know what I mean? You don't quit. And that's pretty much it, is just the resilient mindset to constantly bring yourself back to center, even when you get beaten, even when shit doesn't go your way, even when you don't get a contract or a client drops off or you're concerned about the future. You just bring yourself back to center, you make a decision, you act upon it, you take massive action. And that's where, and the massive action, the intelligent action by reading and studying and paying attention to what's going on, that is going to be the thing that allows you to succeed in the end. And if you bring yourself back to that point, you're going to do fine. You're going to be just fine. You're going to make every one of your goals come true. But you got to keep your eyes open and see what's working, see what's not working, and take a lot of action. And the faith that you can have that it's going to work out is that most people, I wrote an article on my blog, which I encourage you to check out, bradholiday.com, about this, the different types of people that you'll see. Everybody has these goals. Everybody has these wishes, I should say. They're not really goals or aspirations for life. If you ask most people in New York City, what do you want out of life? They're like, well, I want to make $1 million. I want to, help children in Africa. I want to, have an amazing relationship, or I want to sleep with, really attractive women. If you're talking to guys, or if you're talking to girls, like, well, I want to get, married, whatever your goals are. Everybody has those wishes, but most people, they never make it to phase one, which is actually doing the research on how to make that goal a reality, that wish a reality. Then beyond that, most people don't even, there's a lot of people who do research, the next level, but they don't implement any of that shit. They don't actually do anything. They think that by intellectually knowing something is going to allow them to actually do it. But that is extremely not true. That is so not true. Just because you know something does not mean that it's going to happen for you. Actually, quite the contrary. The next level is somebody who dabbles. This is like phase 3, person level 3 or whatever. They kind of dabble in something where they kind of dip their toe in the water. Maybe they try it for a couple of days, they go to a conference or something like that, or maybe they write a blog article and they kind of half-heartedly do stuff. but they're not committed. You know, they don't really do anything. And at the first, they were just there to try it. You know, let's say they were there to try it all the way up to somebody who maybe kind of is committed, but the first sign of hardship and struggle and challenge, which is what everything is in life, they give up. The next level is somebody who persists and they work at it and they're committed, and then they have success and then they fail because they get complacent. And then they give up, and then they quit, and then they just let the defeat totally crush them. Like there will be points, and this is true for everybody. There's nobody that just succeeds and keeps it. It's just impossible. Everything changes in life. And there will be a point where your business or your relationship or your body or something, you're gonna have a challenge, you're gonna have a problem. And it's up to you to, you know, when you get that problem, not to get defeated, you know, to keep your mind on what you want and continue to go after it, even when it doesn't necessarily work out or you encounter a problem. And then the people who are ultimately successful, you know, honestly, I think the key thing with these people is that they have no choice but to make this work. You know, they don't ever quit. They don't give up. They know that there's no other option. You know, really, I think ultimately that's what it is. Because you can have faith, you can have drive, you can have determination, you can really badly want something. But if there's an easier out, it's just kind of human nature to go to the easier path when shit gets rough. And that's not true for everybody. There are some people that, you know, they really will, you know, always force themselves to take the hard path. And, you know, that's great. But I do ultimately think that if there's no other option, you know, you're going to do it. Because it's just, you know, the threat of hell, of your life falling apart if your business doesn't succeed, or if you don't maintain your relationship, your wife, girlfriend leaving you is scary as shit, to where it motivates people to do it, no matter what, to keep going after it. And that's really ultimately all you can do, all you can control is what you think about, what meanings you assign to things, like what you focus on what you focus on is what you're gonna feel. And, you know, I'll talk a lot more about that in the future, but you can control what you focus on. You can control what meanings you give to the events in your life. So for instance, you know, if you have cancer, is it the beginning of your new life, battling cancer and maybe, you know, finding an empowering meaning? Like, I'm gonna, you know, out of this experience, I will show people how I will beat this cancer, or I will show them my process. I will show them my best self. I will be positive through this experience, and I will show people that they can do it too. And even if I fail and I die, I'm gonna go out with a smile on my face. You know, that's a great meaning. It's a very beautiful meaning. Or you could be like, oh, why me? Fuck my life, this is the end. You know, that's a different meaning. And if you assign that meaning to it, you're gonna give up and you're gonna fail and you're gonna die. And I actually saw that firsthand, and it was fucking tragic. It was really hard to watch, because I was encouraging my friend, like, dude, you know, we could beat this. You know, like, if you get on a clean, you know, raw, like green juicing every day, organic vegetables, and you cut out all the bullshit from your diet, you could beat it. And he was like, no, those nutrients don't mean anything, da, da, da. And it was sad. He died very quickly because he kept eating really bad foods, and, you know, maybe that wouldn't have helped, but I believe that it would have. So it's what you decide, and then finally it's what you do, you know, because you can focus on stuff and you can feel stuff and assign meanings to it, but if you don't act upon it, it's not going to happen. It's really not. And finally, it's the process of doing that each and every day. So that's why I like to do the morning pages thing. That's, for me, that's one of the most beneficial things, is to get up in the morning, and the first thing is I'm gonna read some really good stuff. I'm gonna put on some really good audiobooks to fill my mind and plant seeds in the subconscious for the day that are good, as opposed to reading Facebook or Instagram or any other bullshit that people are talking about that isn't gonna empower me and empower you if you decide to adopt this philosophy of life and way of living. So thank you guys so much. Warrior mentality shit, show up each and every day and grind it out. That's what you can control. You can't control the outside events, but you can control yourself. And we can get better, we can get smarter, more educated, better conditioned, and more helpful to people. So I hope that was helpful, guys. I appreciate you. Add me on Facebook, Brad Holiday. I'll be releasing some really cool new stuff a business group which is purely focused on business mindset and discipline, and we're going to get after it together. Talk to you soon.